with you in case you had any questions about some of the recent things I posted. So, and another thing here, we're talking about a grading space for you. You can always go to grades here, but if you check out your email, this up here, if you check that out, you should get an email from me with a link that only has your grades. Here is a link to the syllabus if you're confused about an assignment, because it also has a course outline. All the assignment information is there. Then I have a to-do list for you here, so you can kind of keep track. It's only going to about midpoint. We can add to this as we get a little, closer to the finish line here. So these are when the assignments are assigned or due-ish when you submitted it, the title, goals for specific assignments, your grade, the overall weight. Down here is the overall for that section, some feedback, and this last spot is if you have any comments or if we want to talk about anything, that's where you're going to leave it here. In your feedback, I've also left some personal goals, which are just some things that I think we can work on right now to move you along, right? If we're viewing this as a mentorship. Down here, we'll have your final grade at the end of it. Worksheet, reading here, if you've been going through the Wiser Me, your weekly readings, just keeping note of it here. You might have some feedback, some responses that I've left there. And lastly, I just have the last announcement, and I'll try to be mindful of putting information down there. If it is, it will be linked. It will be linked here, so it would be easy for you just to get to. So that's there for you. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave it on this document or email me. I'm going to be away, so please and always feel free to text me. I have student emails forward to a private box in my email so that they're never accidentally open on screen. So sometimes I miss things because I do that. So feel free to text me at any time. I will get to it when I get to it. The next thing is I put a post here about GoReact submission, GoReact number 2. So we had GoReact 1. Which is completed. Make sure you're looking at feedback. Part of your grade, of course, is always going to be looking at, did you look at feedback? Did you apply the feedback? It's an important skill we need as interpreters. And so we want to make sure we're always looking at our feedback that we give ourselves, that I might be giving or other people might be giving, and then putting it in our future work. So that assignment, we practiced the video in class of the guy with finger spelling. And then you were going to go home, watch it again, and do a rendition into English, and then give yourself some space, and then do some markers and feedback on your English. I noticed in the ones that I received, a majority of them were done simultaneous, or at least they started simultaneous and then switched to consecutive, and they were using notes. Those are things we don't want to do, right? So you want to go to GoReact, and you'll see that I have a new GoReact Redo 2 here. And so there's a new assignment for you ready to go. Watch that video. Watch it twice if you have to. Don't take notes, just watch it. Let it wash over you. And then when you're ready, take a second, put out an English rendition of what you just saw. Step away from the computer. Take a shower, do what you need to do, come back at a later time, listen to the English interpretation as just an English standalone, and give that your feedback and give that your markers. And you're listening for fluency and pacing, and does it sound like normal native English, right? As I mentioned in the announcement here, we want to know what our English sounds like, right? When we're given all the flexibility and all the tools to succeed, what does our English sound like? Because that's our own personal marker when we go into simultaneous. And if we don't have that already established and in our mind and kind of set on autopilot, it's things that we won't be able to work on and fix once we switch to a simultaneous. So be really thoughtful and really conscientious. Don't stress about memorizing things. It's not a test of memorization. It's a test of English interpretation. Can you watch a source text and get out a dynamic equivalent? And now that we've already moved on to the IMI section, we have a mutual understanding of what we think a dynamic equivalent is. And that brings us to our GoReact 3, which will do the same thing. You will watch week 3, CRP is right here. So you're going to watch the interpretation, stay in consecutive, right? So watch the interpretation, do our CRP analysis. I sent you a link for Google Drive of it. You can send it to me any which way you feel fine. You could go into the comments of the video and say CRP1, and then just do main point, goal, theme, affect type, and then go ahead and do your interpretation, and then do your CRP2. So we want to do that. So those are some of the assignments that we have coming up. I wanted to make sure was clear for you, and the new grades and goals. If you look at our course outline, I have week 11 reading as Gish. I'm going to move that to maybe week 12. And that's okay. I put a little buffer in there for us, but when we come back from break, I want to spend some more time doing the CRP analysis, making sure we're comfortable with nice, short, consecutive interpretations, that we're really utilizing our working memories. We're in a good place before we move on to simultaneous. And Sandra Gish information process is a tool that we're going to use to move into simultaneous. So hold off on those readings. They're not assigned yet anyway, but in case you wanted to jump ahead, just wanted to have you hold off on that. And the last thing I just wanted to bring to your attention, I did put in an additional reading for you here with the compression strategies. It's not always important to know what my intentions are and to know the kind of course I have laid out, especially at this point when we're really working on our own intuitions and our own strengths and discovering things that we're just doing intuitively. But if you wanted to know what's going on behind my madness, I have this article for you here, Compression Strategies ASL to English Interpreting. And this is really going to guide ASL to English 2 in the very beginning. So there's no rush on this, but if you felt like you needed to have a little bit more insight and understanding on what the methods of my madness are, it's all right here for you, and it's all explained to you in the announcement, as well as in some of the goals here that I have established. So these are general goals. In feedback, you'll have personalized goals. I think I went over everything. When we get back from midterm, you really want to make sure that, so that's week 10, so you want to make sure by the end of week 11, you have all of these already submitted and turned in. That is your first assignment, which everybody did, your first journal, everybody's completed that, the Go React first video, self-assessment, we've all done that. I just want to make sure you're checking the feedback. We're going to redo number 2. You've just been assigned video number 3. In the meantime, you want to make sure that you've completed one of your observation assignments, whether that be an English observation. And so for the English observation, just go to any English all hearing kind of meeting, whether that's a workplace meeting, a lunchtime presentation, something happening at your library, a book reading, or something where a person is using formal English to English speaking people. And you want to be there as an anthropologist and observing the interaction, observing how people are using language, listening to pauses. You want to be an interpreter. Chapter 1 is a guide for that, and you have links for that in the assignments if you need a refresher for that. But again, I don't want to put too much constraints on the assignment. Just go in there as you would if you were, again, an anthropologist looking at this as an outsider on how people are using language. You're absolutely, wanting some brownie points. Please feel free to put a CRP analysis in there where the main point, goal, theme, affect, all of that, especially now that we're in that point in our learning. That would be wonderful to have that. That'd be a great outline for you. I would wink if I could, but I can't. So that'd be great. So have either one of those. You probably want to have at least one of those done by the time you get back from break, either your Toastmasters or your English observation. You definitely want to do Toastmasters in person. If you can do one in person and one online, that's fantastic. And again, you're going to a Toastmasters meeting, and then you're going to write a reflection takeaway essay on it and submit both of those in to satisfy the 4 hours. So that's that. And also by week 11, you want to be near completed with your midterm assignment. There's an interview and an article review. These are focused on how community members look at interpreters. So that's a good assignment for you, a place where you want to be, and see how your work is directly going to impact the consumers. And the more we learn about it and the earlier we learn about it, we set ourselves up to creating a practice that's a real ally model. Okay, I think that's everything. If you have any questions about anything, if I didn't go over it, please let me know. There is one of your recent readings is all in ASL. I might go back in there and put some bullet points in there for you, some takeaways for you if the ASL was too much. But let me know if there's something specific in that you think you need to hear in English. Myself or Chelsea will be happy to interpret that for you. Just let me know. Otherwise, try to enjoy your break, and I look forward to seeing you week 11.